All right, good morning, Texas, and everyone joining us from around the nation. I see all of you. We have some tried and true people. Leah, I see you every time, you and your team. It's really cool to see you guys. Austin, I see you and your team, a bunch of you guys. Um, Week number 32 of the year, which means we are more than halfway through. You guys already know that. So it is definitely time to put it into overdrive if you have not done so this year. Gratitude, any announcements that you've got to shout out, or anything that you want to share, any good news. Let's do that in the next 2 minutes. Kevin, I see your hand. Yes, sir.
Yeah, just wanted to make the announcement. The monthly military mastermind call is today at 3 o'clock Central Time. We're going to be going over a lot of tactical stuff that you can talk with your VA loan buyers and sellers about, as well as we're having a special guest from the Independence Fund come on and talk about how they have a program that gets veterans together once per year and they pay for a reunion for them. And we're going to support that cause as a community. So I'll post the Zoom link in the chat. I'll also post a sign up form if you want to be on every Zoom call or every invitation for the Zoom call. And yeah, hope to see some of y'all on.
Love that. Military Mastermind. Awesome. Thank you, Kevin. Deldy, good morning.
Good morning. I have an up and coming rock star. His name is Trenton Garcia. Today will be fourth day in launch. He has signed 4 or 5 buyer reps, sent out an offer two
What?
days ago, will most likely be accepted. He made 800 dials halfway through the month. He joined us like he's going on maybe week 3. So I just wanted to say, way to go, Trenton.
Well,
Last night
welcome, welcome, Trenton.
yeah, so I'm not sure if he's on or not yet, but he makes his dials. I came into the office several weeks ago. It was 7 p.m. He had committed to making his calls. He was out shadowing Carissa, and he's like, I said I was going to make my dials, so I'm here, and it was 7 p.m. So a lot of the things we're going to talk about today are agents like this and how every one of us should look at our business. So yeah, I just wanted to shout out Trenton Garcia.
I love that. I love that. Well, Trenton, I like that. Keep it up. Keep it up. I like it. Brandon, you want me to skip you or you can coming to you?
Me?
Yeah, do you have your hand up?
I did not. I gave a thumbs up
Oh,
to the VA thing,
oh,
but I do
thumbs
have a shout out. Yeah. Um, if one of our partners, if Tamala's on the call, she's coming up this month, 5 years with our team here in San Antonio. Consistent,
Wow.
um, top performer, consistent, awesome partner. Also a mom and a wife and a veteran, crushing the game. But 5 years, that's a big deal for us. So want to celebrate that.
That's awesome. Very cool. Very cool. Man, I love it. Well, speaking of very cool things, it's not every day that you get to hang out with a billionaire. And whether you think billionaires are cool or not, this is not the point. The point is someone who has done something that is pretty impressive, helping a lot of people, right? Because I guess you could get there a lot of ways. But we spent some time with Gary Keller last week, and I asked the leaders that were there if anyone would be on the call today, if they wanted to share their perspective of what they heard, their ahas. And I remember, when I was even well, not even when I was, even now today, I hear people's perspectives and I get a lot from it. But even more so as I was building my business, maybe in my first 5 years, my first 10 years, my first 15 years. So I'm just going to go in the order that these leaders responded back to me. So, Zach, are you on the call this morning? If you are, Zachariah Castillo. If not, I'm going to skip you. I don't want to skip.
He's dropping off our little one, so he should be on the call in like a minute or two.
There you go. That's all good. Oh, Susan, you are ready. I saw you. Um, Susan, what'd you take from it? What were your ahas?
Mine was that success is built in the unnatural. And we've all heard that you fail your way there, you fail your way forward. But he said something about, we say, oh, they're a natural. And no one is actually a natural. Like everyone that is succeeding is intentional about doing the unnatural things to the point of where it becomes natural for them. So that was just a light bulb thing. And, he connected it to, the 20% who get 80% of the results are the ones who keep doing the uncomfortable, the unnatural. And I picture that like my husband's a big lead generator. And in the beginning, it was not natural for him to call strangers for 2 hours at a time every day. And now it's become a natural for him and he's reaping the benefits from it. So it was just interesting to go back to that. Um, and
I
then I
think
hope I'm not
about
taking any, go ahead.
No, you're good. I think about Gene and to me it almost feels like he's natural just because that's all I've ever heard about Gene is he is just he's a phone animal. He's so good.
Mhm.
So you're telling me he wasn't?
Oh, no. So
Okay.
that repetition is, and he talked a lot about models. We all know Gary likes to talk about models. That repetition is where the model is built and becomes a natural for you. And then you get the results from it to the point of now it's unnatural for him not to lead generate.
Oh, I like that. I cut you off. Go ahead and say what you were going to say.
Oh, no, I was just saying. And then the other big thing that really stuck with me, and I've thought about it several times, and I hope this wasn't what someone else was going to mention, but the plan like you're going to live forever and live like you're not. It
Mm,
hard and strong for me, not hard, because nothing's hard unless I make it hard, but it hit me strong, like plan physically, mentally, financially, all of those things. Plan like I'm going to live forever, but live like I'm not.
I like that. I like that. Good ahas. Um, Zach or Jean, in case you're on, just speak up. If not, I'll go to the next person. And I'll just
Yes,
keep.
I just got in right now. I was dropping off my daughter.
Ah, Mr. Dad, yes.
But yes, I can jump in. One of my biggest takeaways was um I have it. You're betting your future life on your actions you are doing today. So just, you know, kind of talking what Susan was saying, the models going in, like you just got to work on understanding like you got to do that today because if you're not doing that today, your future self is, who knows what your future self is going to look like. And then I think going in, that goes into like why we probably don't take action. And a lot of it is fear. And I think he talked about irrational fear. And in order to get through the irrational fear, some of it's either like exposure therapy, which I feel like is the best thing in sales. You just got to jump in and do the phone call, go do the door knock, go do the open house, or you probably maybe it's outside things and you go talk to a therapist and figure out where you're stuck, why you can't, why you're afraid of something. So those are like big ones for me.
You're
You're on mute.
muted.
The one time that I put myself on mute, that I had something to say. I think about that because Zach, like most fears are irrational, right? Like when it comes to real estate, I mean, again, Susan's not about to go like perform surgery after this. Like, if that's what she wanted to do with her life, I bet she'd be really good at it, but that's not what she chose. It's just real estate. It's very important. It's very meaningful. But it is real estate. It's just people. So it is a lot of irrational. Um, it- when you say you're betting your future life on your actions that you're doing today, like, are people not connecting to their why? Why do you think people aren't doing it other than fear, Zach? Like, what do you see on your team?
I think the biggest is vision. I mean, knowing like what the why looks like, what you want it to look like, and also just understanding like the actions that you're doing today, like it's going to lead somewhere. It's either going to lead towards that future that you want, or it's going to lead you away from it. And, I like to ask myself, like, if nothing changed in 12 months, would I be happy with what I'm doing today? And honestly, I asked myself that after that meeting, and no, I wouldn't. So I need a change. And if nothing changes, nothing's going to change. So I think it was for me, a wake up call. And I think for some people, I think just really getting clear on what that future version of yourself looks like and why you're attached to it. And then ask yourself if you're doing the things today to get there.
That's a really good question. If nothing changes, will I be happy with where I am 12 months from now? Huh. I like it. Brandon, what about you?
Yeah, I thought it was a great time to spend. One thing I took away was just like how not complicated a lot of the stuff he was talking about was, right? Like in practice, I think it can be complicated, but he mentioned models a lot. He mentioned hacks. He said the most successful people hack their way to that, right? They have these little models and things like that. But it was just cool how it was delivered very practically, and it's a lot of the stuff that we find ourselves talking about in our organization. So I thought that was cool. And so like two things really stood out to me. He talked about identity and self worth and stuff like that, and maybe we could circle back and I'll do that one because it's a little longer. But I'm a big fan of models and systems. And I'm also a big fan of things that can help me or people around me think in a different way that's most efficient to what I'm trying to do or most effective. Right. And so he had showed us and walked us through what he called in his model the Keller thinking box. And I think the premise behind this was we all have the natural operating styles and some learned behaviors, right? This would be the disc profile. You might be a high D, high I, high S, high C. And because of our natural behavior style, we make decisions in a certain way and in a certain order. And so I think what he was encouraging us to do with this model was to do all of them. I think he said the best decisions are not made by our narrow preferred way to think. They're made by using all 5 options, right? And so really quick, and I got to use this a couple times since last week in a few different environments, and it was well received, right? So number 1, what are my options? And that's the creator, right? What options can I create? What are my choices? What's on the table? And then he said, after that, you've identified all your options. Go into details. What's my research? What data do I have on this? What information is available to me, or do I need to go get, right? And that's the analyst. So the high C, you still get your opportunity here to plug that into your decision filter, right? And then the third one's the optimist, right? That might maybe be the high I, right? Somebody who's naturally very optimistic. But sometimes when we're too optimistic, we leave out those other frameworks, right? And we kind of just make decisions based off of how good we feel or how likely we think it's going to happen, right? And so the positives, what's the upside? That's kind of obvious. And then after positives, though, he balanced that with negatives. And that's the risk manager. That's the person that might not be adept to moving very quickly. They might be a little cynical, right? And I could see myself in that box sometimes. But that's the risk manager. And then what was really cool, and I hadn't thought about explaining it this way before, but I'm going to now, is the 5th thing was for the intuitive, right? The feelings. How do I feel about this is how he ended that framework. So what are my choices? What are my details? What's good? What's bad? And then saved feelings for the end to where the intuitive person that feels their way through all their important decisions first might have some extra data before getting there. But I thought that was cool. And I guess coming from someone like Gary, I'm surprised feelings were in the framework at all, to be honest. He's very the few times I've encountered him in person and then everything I've seen in his books, it's very matter of fact. This is it. This is the model, just be willing to do the work or pay someone else to do it. But I thought that was cool. And I think that applies to me as a leader. It's something that my team can use. But the first person I shared this with was actually a client who was trying to decide with his family, make a really big decision. I met with them this weekend, whether they're going to move, they're taking a new job, do they sell, do they rent? Are they going to continue to build wealth this way? And I just said, hey, you know what? I went to a really cool meeting last week. Can I send you a picture? And I kind of walked him through it the same way I just did now. And he reached out to me yesterday. They made a decision. They went through all 4 or 5 of them and then made a decision that best fit their family. So I thought that was pretty cool, but easy framework. And it's a 1-pager. So you can just put it in front of you. And if you're trying to practice, I think thinking differently because your behavioral style. Hey, I'm a high D. I want to get to the decision. I want to move quickly. Some of those other boxes will really help kind of put things into perspective. I think for me, just looking at this, it's going to help me understand people in a better way and help me stay open-minded. And that's something my team and I are really working on right now. Stay open-minded to opportunities. And so for me, who might like to make decisions quickly sometimes, this is a really good way to slow down and put myself in 4 other people's shoes, if that makes sense.
That's really good. I like that. I was in the room and man, I did not get all that. So I'm so glad you got all that because that is way better than what I got. Uh, awesome. So glad we did this. I mean, for the rest of you guys, but definitely for me. That was good. Thanks, Brandon. Might come back to you if we have time, okay? Delty, couple of yours.
Adelina, you just said it. There's so much being in that room. And the day went by so fast. That was the other thing. But I shared a few of my quotes and I'll pop them in here in a few minutes. I think one of the big things, I've been in the room before with Gary Keller. A lot of us have seen him up on stage. Some of us has been in the small room. I saw Gary in a different light. I saw his heart, what he shared about his wife, his health. Like we've heard a lot of his health journey, but we never know what people are going through, right? But he shared a lot about his life, what he does. Some of us have read some of these things, have know a little bit about him, but I just saw his heart for his family, for his wife especially, for himself and his health more than anything. And he talked a lot about ego or wego and identity, and that ego is not a bad thing if you are coming from the inside. And many of us, including me, might see him having a big ego, but he has a huge heart for the people that are close to him, for the industry, for this company, for so many. And he doesn't have to, he's a billionaire. He doesn't have to be there doing this, but he loves to teach. And that's what he did so beautifully. One of the quotes, and I know there's a lot, treat it like a business and it becomes one. Treat it like a job and it stays one. He said, betting your life, betting your life on your actions today. So, what are you going to do right after this call? What are you going to do today? 99% of people have careers rather than a business. He also said, you are, each one of us, you might be part of a team, we're part of place, we're part of a bigger ecosystem, but every one of us is self-employed. If we don't show up, we don't get paid. If we don't show up, we don't get to help other people. He said, you're in the greatest industry in the world. And I was sharing the other day about a team member who has already made $500,000 this year on a team, right? And some of us might be in this room, I don't know. But all I'm saying is we collectively are in the greatest industry in the world. And I would probably ask, like, do you believe that? We have so many people to go out and help. Um, Treat it like a business. And that was the one, I think that was just it. I mean, there's so much, Adelina, that
I
I
love
could
that.
share, but he talked about ego versus we go. Ego is when you use the word I a lot. We go is very different, right? It's about character. It's about who you are. It's about what you believe in and why you want to do it. And I think we do a good job of that, but we also have to be careful that sometimes in this business, our ego can, we start like looking at our self-image, and that's not a good thing. And you can identify that pretty quickly, especially in this industry. I think when you look at Keller Williams, he talked about the Y4C23s, right? He talked about our culture. It's why I joined KW was the culture, right? The values. It's why I'm here with Place today also, because I believe in the values of growth. And I think it's really important that for every single person here, that we look at what we believe in and we lead with that.
I love that. Really good ahas. Man, you guys are bringing it this morning. Mariana, I saw your notes. You had something really good to share.
So I took a lot of things. I think one of the main things, and I'm pulling up my little chart, that kind of helped me realize why people are hesitant to take action. And he drew this chart and I have it for those of you who want it. Um, so there's three reasons why people don't take action. One, you're not motivated. Um, Two, you're motivated but don't know what to do or how to do it. Three, you're motivated and know what to do or how to do it, but you're afraid to do it. And I think that that helped me realize why some of us don't take action in either, um, lead generating, calling our sphere, whatever is stopping us from doing that, and then gave us the answers on what to do if that is the reason for it. So I really love that. And we can talk about this more, but I know that I want to give other people a chance to say it. I had the same thought as Susan, the plan like you're going to live forever and live like you're not. I love that one. And then one that really stood out to me, and Gary didn't say it, 30% of private jet bookings are for social media only. Those jets never really take off because they don't want to actually fly. They want to show their social media viewers that they are in a private jet. And it made me think about all the times that some of us have compared ourselves to someone in that phone. And it allowed me to be free from those chains because I realized, I'm guilty of this. And that is not ego, because ego is not the enemy. And he talked about this so many times. That's a self-serving thing. It's a self-serving thing because you are doing it to make someone else feel like they're less than you. And I think that some of us can take that and say, either realize it for ourselves if we ever do that, or if we see someone do it, that the grass is not always greener on the other side. And then this is another one, and I have this now posted in my computer. You wake up every morning and
Hey, Jack.
you wake up every morning and either you're afraid of fear of loss or driven by the opportunity of gain, and you choose. So, those are the ones that I took away from this.
I love that. What were the three? Lack of motivation. So, like, if you don't take action, it's either lack of motivation.
Not motivated, motivated, but don't know what to do or how to do it. So then you need knowledge or skill for that. And then motivated, you know what to do or how to do it, but you're afraid to do it. And so the response to that would be, is your fear rational or is it irrational?
Mm-hmm. Got it. Got it. Um, what did, as you're hearing all of this, any follow-up questions, or is there anything that you all wanted to share that you didn't get a chance to in the last 5 minutes? Ront group.
Hey, it's Heather. I just realized that I didn't respond in our group chat yesterday, so I apologize about that. There was one thing that I feel like the conversation overarching like theme, my takeaway from it was about identity. And there was one thing that he said that I wrote down, I think I read it 1,000 times, where he said, I'm driven by my decision to be who I want to be who I want to be, and who I want to become. Knowing who you are is the basis for what matters. Live in the service of who you are. And that to me was just so powerful, because I think a lot of times we go through our days and weeks and months and years of life just trying to put one foot in front of the other a lot of times. And really learning how to root yourself in who you are, who you want to be, and then every decision that you make has to be in service of that idea of who you are, not somebody else's idea for you or what you want other people to think of you, but who you actually are at the core. And that was something that was just, I thought, pretty cool. And then of course the statement that I've heard him say 1,000 times over the years, I know all you guys have too, where he said he spent so many years thinking he was a physical being having a minor spiritual experience, but then he realized that he is actually a spiritual being having a minor physical experience, because life is a vapor. And we're here for a hot minute and then we're not. And so we have a responsibility and an obligation, I believe, to figure out what our legacy is going to be. It doesn't have to be that we are billionaires or that we change the world or we find a cure for cancer or whatever it is, but the legacy of just being true to who we are designed to be. That's all.
Right on. Right on. I wrote down some of this was we talked about it here, but I wrote down you don't know how much money you're gonna need. So you wake up every day maximizing your potential. And he said that, and I want to give context to why he said it. He shared that, his wife has had Alzheimer's now for 5 years. And it's a long time, right? And someone might hear that and say, see, it doesn't matter how much money you have, you still get sick. I have heard that, and I heard that, and I was like, ooh, that's a weird take on that, but okay. I mean, I guess it is factual. But he followed up with the time of death is not predetermined, and the quality of that life is not predetermined. And basically, what that meant to me is you don't know how much you're going to live, how long you're going to live, but the quality of your life, a lot of that, especially if you live here in the United States or in Canada, uh, you can control the quality of that life. And yes, money doesn't prevent you from being sick, but it does allow him to have the best life for his wife. He shared that he immediately hired a scientist who has really improved the quality of her life. I don't know about you, but if you get sick tomorrow, like, do your finances allow you to just go ahead and buy a scientist, essentially, right? He has a Michelin chef that cooks their dinners. And I'm not saying that's the answer. I'm saying, what is your answer? Because he's very clear on what it is for him and how he wants to live his life. But Heather and everyone shared that, like, be true to who you are. He's true to who he is. And then probably the last thing is, I liked what he said. If it's up to me, no, if it's to be, it's up to me. And why not me? Right? Why not you? Right? There is enough opportunity for all of us sitting in this room. There's enough opportunity for everyone in your city. And I thought that was a really, really interesting perspective. And the last perspective was that time is not leverage. Time is not leverage. And I think about that, and it's like none of us will get more time. We all have that 24 hours. What was leverage? Does anybody remember what was leverage?
People and money.
People.
People and money. And I thought about that in the context of what we do every day. And going back to, I think if you ask any leader on in this group that when you started in real estate, if there was a place team like yours in your city, would you have been there? And my answer would have been a resounding yes. And it's not because place is this or that, right? It could have been something else. But this is what exists, and it is the best thing that exists. You've got people as your leverage. You've got money as your leverage. It just blew my mind that everything I need is already here. Because if you believe that people and money is leverage, it's just anyway, that's what I took from it. I hope that was helpful, and I can't wait to have more conversations on this. If you want to have more conversations on it, you know where to find us and our Happy Place online Facebook group. You can always post in there. But it's 9 o'clock, and it was fun hanging out with you guys this Thursday morning, and we'll see you guys next week. Bye, guys.
Thanks, Adelina.
Thank you. See ya.